everyone. Welcome to our Start Grind, our speaker series that we do, that we actually just started every year. And here today, we have Dr. Anthony McFarland, over 20 years of business coach and trainer, business trainer, and also the Lift Abundant Harvest pastor.
Yes.
Right? You just changed the name, right?
We just changed the name.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
Abundant Harvest Lift.
Yeah, Abundant Harvest Lift. Okay, let's make sure. The Abundant Harvest Lift. And so, Dr. McFarland.
Anthony's fine.
Okay. Anthony's been.
That's fine. Yeah.
Let's just get straight. He's known me since I was 19. So I don't need this. And we just gonna talk.
Fireside chat.
Okay, there you go. So anyway, now I've known you obviously as a pastor for many years, but I also know your business side.
Mm-hmm.
You've been an entrepreneur, long-term entrepreneur for many years, and obviously you can talk, being a pastor all day long. That's
right.
Right.
Yeah.
But as a business professional and as an entrepreneur, this is the side where a lot of people don't get a chance to know about.
Right.
I mean, you're a staple of Pasadena out in the area. LA, you're now reaching out to, I would say Atlanta. You've, if I'm remembering, you've also done Indiana, right? And then Beverly Hills, you've reached out there. And you've also done some traveling, right?
Yes.
Right. Done some traveling outside of
international travel.
So knowing that, right, and those who don't know now know, let's talk about where did you start?
Well, where I started is actually in Jackson, Mississippi, in developing and honing those skills. And it's interesting. I wasn't sure what the conversation would be based around, but I actually thought about just my journey, because you never are where you are. There's a journey to get where you are.
Exactly.
and become who you are today. And a great part of who I am today was my upbringing and experiences in the South. Born in Texas, raised partially in California, as a young adult raised in Jackson, Mississippi, where I would be very successful in school as a leader, to being the first African American hired in Caucasian business that actually paved the way for several other minorities to have employment within that corporation. So that's something that really, a seed that was planted in me that I've carried all my life to be a forerunner. And so, with being a forerunner, it's not always easy. But with that, I moved to California, to San Francisco after I graduated from school, and would go to San Francisco College and spent 3 years there, and then moved here to Southern California to where I would pursue some of my ambitions and, ultimately end up in corporate America. From the telecommunications industry, being a senior sales and marketing trainer for a subsidiary of AT&T, then being contracted by other telecommunication companies to come in and help corporations, increase their revenues and work with their sales team and evaluate their product and services, again, to increase their numbers. So I found great joy in doing that. And then I would receive a call into ministry, but along the way I met a beautiful lady that's sitting here with us today, who was a business owner, prominent business owner here within the Pasadena area, Michelin, the infamous Michelin, beauty salon, day spa owner. And we would do some things together, but even in the midst of my journey here, I would own a sandwich shop, a beauty supply. Just I don't know, sometimes being so talented, if it's a hindrance or if it's a benefit, because when you're so talented, you can cross margins.
Right.
But I think from, God gifting me and having a skill set in marketing and promotions to understand business, which my major was business. I started off in computer science.
Oh, really?
And after my first quarter, I realized that was not my calling. And so right to this day, I tell all young people to get a minor in business because you can take it anywhere. And so along my journey, I've been able to hone my skills and develop and being a manager to a business owner, and then help other businesses with their vision and becoming productive.
So what was your earlier passion?
My earlier passion, are you ready for this?
Sure.
My earlier passion was to be a singer and actor.
Really?
And so I had a few small accomplishments, doing some background singing, traveled a little bit, did a stage play, Jennifer Holliday. I had some accomplishments within the music industry, and then I would go on to have a few small strides in the acting arena with TV show Hunter, which no one probably watching this Google entrepreneurial grind would even know anything about Hunter. But I'd have my debut on that TV show and work with Cagney and Lacey and do some things like that. And so I was very proud of those things. But God had something greater for me, and it would, of course, end up in the kingdom. But I've never lost that entrepreneurial side of me. To this day, we own a business, A&M Promotions, which provides resources and marketing tools to businesses for their client services, customer services, that sort of thing, campaigns, marketing campaigns, as well as partnership campaigns. So that's a business that we have to this day that I'm actually very proud of. And our whole theme is whatever you can imagine, we can bring it to pass.
So you have this, you got this journey going, right? You take it one step at a time. Probably taking a knee here and there, whether right. Excuse me. So when would you say was before the calling? What would you say that what was the pinnacle of I need to switch gears?
Business-wise or going into ministry?
Business-wise.
Business-wise, for me, wow. To be very transparent, I actually had a challenge in my marriage because a partner and I, we had actually opened a firm, a marketing promotion PR firm up in Beverly Hills, and I was in the entertainment industry, and I had a challenge with my marriage. And as a result of having a challenge with my marriage, I left the business and went to go get a regular job and, not be an entrepreneur, so to speak, so I could spend more time at home and just really get some things together. And as a result, some spiritual things happened. And then on top of that, when I just went to be, I purposed to be low-key, just be like the average person, one of the managers found out that my background and my skill set. And said, how are you just sitting here doing sales and you have this background? And why didn't you tell anybody? So I'm on a certain journey right now. And so that was a big change. It was a pivotal point for my professional career, specifically in the telecommunications industry. You would have asked me, 10 years prior to that, did I ever see myself in the telecommunications industry? I tell you, no way on God's green earth. It was the furthest thing off of my radar. But I would go from being a trainer in the telecommunications industry to being a senior sales and marketing trainer, being very prominent within that arena. to again working with other corporations, which I found great joy in. Yeah, I found great joy.
So it was the process. Was it the teaching process? Was that where you really?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it was a teaching process because I love people.
Yeah.
Two, I love to teach. I love to educate. I love to inform, empower people. And knowledge really isn't power unless you learn how to apply it.
Right.
And so I like to teach with in a way that also gives people the application. Mm-hmm. So it's one thing to teach, but then to show someone how to apply it and make it work is where the joy comes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're talking to some young bucks, right, right, young bucks in the business, and they're asking what are the three top things they need to look for to becoming a good business professional?
Oh, wow. Vision, purpose, passion. A lot of people have a vision, but they don't know their purpose. Mm-hmm. And people who have vision and think they know their purpose oftentimes don't have passion behind the purpose. Because passion will allow you to do it even if you don't get paid.
Right. I see.
And when you know it's your purpose, well, then success is inevitable. Mm-hmm. And it's powered by the passion that is in your heart to do what it is that you do. And so, vision, purpose, and passion are the key ingredients to, really positioning yourself to succeed in any business.
Yeah.
A lot of people start businesses every day, so they have a vision because they caught the vision from someone else. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's the thing now. One of the ways that it's interesting because my counselor, when I went to San Francisco State, my counselor said, well, in the next 20 years, and the counselor was totally correct. The next 20 years, technology, computers, is going to be phenomenal. So I'm suggesting, based on your academia, that you major in computer science. So I'm excited. At that time, computers had just barely made it to,
people's homes.
People are
looking at these things.
It was always,
what is it?
A government, the government technology.
Right.
And so I'm like, I'm hyped. I'm excited. And man, when you get in there, you got to learn COBOL and all these things. I was like, no, that's not my purpose. And so, again, I think sometimes we do projections. We're taught in even business school in college to, project what will be the next big thing.
Right.
Well, you can go after what's going to be the next best big thing, but is that your purpose? Mm-hmm. Is that where, in the kingdom, we say that's your anointing. Do you have an anointing for that?
Right.
And I think that's what separates people from your Steve Jobs. That separates people from the Bill Gates. They have vision, they have purpose, and they have passion. Mm-hmm. And so it produces. Right. It produces. So, everyone here on this set today could go out and say, okay, and I've watched it happen within the yogurt industry, ice cream industry, different industries, coffee industry. Right. We're going to go, coffee's the next big thing.
Right. And everything blows up. Everybody does a coffee and a yogurt shop in every street.
Right, exactly. And then within a year you see them closing down. 2 years they're closing down. Why are they closing down? And the other one is booming down the street. Right. Because that's their call. Mm-hmm. That's their purpose. And they have a passion for it. Right. And you have to if you're gonna have sustainability, you have to be passionate about what it is that you do, because that's going to keep you in the long run.
So you can't. So you in some way say that you can't force the business to work.
I think there's a 10% group that does.
Yeah.
I think there's a 10% group that does. But in terms of having longevity, no. Yeah. I think you'll have some short-term success.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I've been there before where, I see a market need. Mm-hmm. That's how I created Tony's sandwiches.
Yeah.
Because I saw a need in the market for small businesses, entrepreneurs who were very busy on Fridays and Saturdays, and couldn't get away for lunch. And so I said, oh, there's a need. Now, was that my purpose? No. But I had a vision for it. I found a need from a business standpoint. Are you following what I'm saying?
Right.
Looking at the marketplace.
Right.
And so what did I do? Man, I went and got my little business license, and followed the whole process. Got my little sandwich business, and started handing out my menu. Figured out what my sandwiches and everything was going to be that I would offer, and I was going to be the best at what I did.
Right.
But it didn't last because that wasn't my purpose.
Yeah.
Nor did I have a passion for it outside of enjoying to see people's response that they enjoyed the sandwich.
Right.
Are you following? But that wasn't my purpose.
Right.
So it worked for a season.
Mm-hmm.
It worked for a season. I mean, I did good with it for a season. I opened another business, a jewelry business, which was targeted towards beauty salons. Mm-hmm. And man, it was phenomenal. I mean, phenomenal. But it wasn't my purpose. What gave me passion for was the money that I was making. So I mean, imagine, at that point in time, 25 years ago, imagine 25 years ago, I was literally making, between a Friday and a Saturday, $1,000 to $1,500 in 2 days.
Wow.
In 2 days. Targeting beauty salons.
Right.
Oh, that's winner chicken dinner. Ask me, am I doing that today? No, because that was not my purpose. Nor was it my passion. That was not my calling. And I think that's the greatest challenge for many people. Most people go throughout their lives, and I'm just going to kind of turn to the camera at this time and the audience, really not knowing who they are, not knowing what your purpose is. And I think the greatest advice that I can give any of the listeners, any of those individuals watching this Google Grind session is find your purpose. And wherever there's purpose, there'll be passion, and the vision will come. And there lies your gold. There lies your treasure. If you are 35, 30 years old and you're doing something you don't enjoy, you need to seek some wise counsel. You need someone to coach you to identify what your giftings are, what your purpose is, so that you can tap into that. And there you'll find your prosperity. It's not in doing what someone else wants you to do, what mama thought you should do.
Right.
Daddy thought you should be a lawyer because everybody in the family, is a lawyer, or doctors, or beauticians, whatever it is. But what is it? Why? You got to find out the why you have been placed here.
Right.
The why to the you in this time, and in this season. Why? Because there's something great in each and every one of us. And God has placed a gift on the inside of each and every one of us to share it with the world. So the world is waiting for you.
Exactly.
But the right you.
Exactly, right. And that all through the development process.
Yes.
Within the journey, there's a development process. And
as I went through.
Exactly.
So as you've gone.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And so I'm going to ask you the part of that first development process. What was your first job?
What was my first job? My first job, again, in the South. And the beautiful thing about the South, when I was coming up, you can have a job at 13 years old.
Yeah.
So, I mean, imagine a guy 13 years old getting his first job. Actually, I was 13 years old. And it was to clean up a bakery.
Oh my goodness. Check this out. Now, I'm not here talking about me, but I was 13 years old. And my first job was cleaning a Mexican bakery.
Wow.
Wow. That was my first job as well. Cleaning a Mexican bakery right over there on Farrow to Orange Grove.
Oh, wow.
Right there. That's hilarious.
Wow.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, so the baker would have like crust and everything stuck to the floor, and we'd have to have this. I forget. It wasn't a hole, but it was a flat steel metal, and it was on a stick, and you'd actually have to get in there and get up all the dough that's caked up, the paste that's on the floor, and then once you get it all up, you got to sweep it up, and then you have to scrub, and then you have to mop it.
And there was I had a big old mixer, and I was afraid I was going to fall in because I'm not a tall kid, right? And I had to go clean it. Like, you got to clean it. And so it was huge. And I swear, I was like, somebody's going to catch me on this all right. So here's the thing: is what was your worst job?
What was my worst job? Well, I can answer that hands down. My worst job was a collections job, where I had a supervisor that was Miss Supervisor, and she wanted everyone to know that she's the boss.
Right.
And she drove me literally crazy. She had an identity problem. I mean, she had an identity problem, crisis.
That was her life. That was
her, right. And I'll never forget. This is probably after I want to say 8 months. Probably 8 months. Maybe not 8 months. I went home and I told my wife. I said, honey, I can't take it anymore. I can't do this job another day in my life. And on top of that, my heart broke for people who really couldn't, they weren't running a scam, and then probably at that time I was so naive, I wouldn't know if they were running a scam or not. But my heart broke for people who couldn't pay their bills.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, for me, you got to go hard on them, and so they listen to my calls, You're being too nice. You're being too nice. It wasn't my purpose, and nor did I have a passion. It was just a paycheck, and I hated it.
Right. So I'm gonna move forward because we've talked about the past. So we move forward. So because you have this part of your life where you're a pastor, right, and you're accountable. Right.
Yes.
And then, but you still run a business.
Yes.
Right. So as a pastor and running a business, people don't think that business professionals and pastors doesn't mix.
Right.
So how do you get people to understand that you can still be a man of God and run a well-ran business.
Yes.
And still stay within your integrity.
Yes. Just as there are business principles, there's business principles for business.
Right.
Those same principles for business apply to ministry.
Right.
Because it's still God's business, so to speak. And sometimes people have a hard time hearing that. But it is a business. I'll tell you this. The IRS doesn't look at us any different than any other business. Come on.
True, yeah.
Same way that I have to be responsible for taxes or business reports for my business.
Right.
I have to be responsible for the same thing for employees and taxes and accountable to the federal government, for payroll and all those kind of things. It's the same principle.
Right.
So just as within the business industry, you have to have a business plan. Guess what? You have to have a plan for ministry as well.
Right.
And so just as you learn, a business, organization, I took that in college. Guess what? There's church organizational practice.
Right, because you're still going to deal with the same types of personalities that you would in a regular business.
That you would in sometimes worse.
You know what I mean? And so
same financial principles.
It's all about accountability.
It's all about accountability.
Right, and so that whole idea of being a business owner, right? It's like there's this thing, the stigma of like, okay, should pastors be a business owner? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And because it's been so disconnected.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's been so disconnected from.
I think there's a benefit. There's pros and cons to it. There's a benefit if you have a pastor who has a business background and is business savvy.
Right.
That's a benefit to the church.
Yeah.
Is it a must? No, it's not a must, because you can find someone else to run the business of the ministry, which at this stage of ministry for me, I don't care to be tied to the business of the ministry. I'm working on not being responsible for the business of the ministry.
Right.
Don't want it.
Exactly right.
Did it? Done. I'm done. So I don't want the responsibility, but the reality is especially for ministers who are independent, the reality is the guess what? The church still needs credit. So guess what? When you're starting a church,
Yeah.
it has no background, it has no history.
Exactly.
So guess whose credit is riding?
Exactly.
It's
Right?
riding on yours.
Right.
So that was another pro, that we were able, my wife and I were able to bring to ministry. That before we went into ministry, our credit was A1. Follow what I'm saying? We were business savvy. Business savvy. We understood financial responsibility, accountability, having accountants. So, we still, although, same as a business in ministry, we have a CPA, to review everything and look at our books and everything. So the principles still cross, So again, to just close that point, I think it's a great benefit to having a pastor who understands business. Yeah.
So when you transitioned, right, the transition happened, that calling happened.
Yes.
Because it's a transition.
Yes, it's transition.
Yeah, it's transition. So when did you have a hard time yourself with that transition? Going, okay, I'm in business and now I'm being called to ministry. And did it feel like there was a disconnect in that early start?
No, it wasn't.
No,
it wasn't. It was a wow. It was a wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was a shocker.
Right.
But God just showed Himself in the transition.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about a guy. When I had my Paul encounter with God, my road to Damascus encounter, that when I had that encounter with God, I literally, my wife was the first one that I told. And the second person, though, was my business partner at the time when I was in the entertainment industry. We had the office in Beverly Hills. I said, hey, man, something phenomenal just happened to me. I'm called to the ministry, and you can have the business, you can have everything. He's like, hold on, wait, what happened? My God, for such a abrupt change.
Right.
You understand.
Understand.
And so, I explained to him that for the first time, and I've been in church for years, carnal, worldly, but I've been in church for years. Couldn't tell me I didn't love God, but I really had an encounter with God. And a deliverance took place, and my eyes opened up.
Right.
And, just change came. Change came. And so I shared it with him, I explained it to him, and inadvertently, he in turn closed the next month. I think he maybe went a month or two later, closed the business. And then within maybe 3 months, we were kind of going to church together, and then he received this call. We went two different ways. It was, I enrolled in ministry school. God blessed me with a job that every year I got great promotions. By the time I graduated from ministry school, my wife had prophesied that a position would come open at the church we were at. And I was like, I don't know. And lo and behold, we're in church, and in they make this announcement that a marketing manager position had come open, and I was floored. And I was like, should I go for it? Now, what was interesting about that, and I think this will really bless you. I had just received confirmation that AT&T went up north to do an interview for an executive position at AT&T in management and sales. I had just received my acceptance letter from them saying that within 30 days they would give me my hire date.
Really?
So at the same time, I put in an application. I put in my resume for this mega ministry, and I get the offer from the church, and I said, "What am I going to do?" So I said, "I'm not going to say anything to AT&T because I still had 30 days before they respond to me and give me my start date, right?"
Right.
And so I said, "I'll be able to feel how this church thing is going to go, because if I need to, I can drop that,
right,
and I can go it on, And I'll never forget. Literally, 2 weeks later, Aaron, in the Los Angeles Times newspaper on the front cover, it said, AT&T lays off, go do your history, 30,000.
Oh, wow. There you go. That was your answer.
That was my answer.
That was your answer right there.
That was my answer. Door shut. Because financially, that was the role for me to take. But I knew I was called.
Right.
And it just so happened that God would use my skill set, my business skill set, in Christendom, which would also give me a platform to hone, to sharpen my gift as a minister to ultimately pastor.
Because even as with your ministry that you have, you teach business. You have to your members,
Yes.
and so when you're teaching them, what are you teaching them? And this is
Well, just like we're sitting here talking, every one of my members know that if God gives them a vision, they have a business idea, they know that they can come set an appointment with me, and I'm going to be the first one to work with them in getting that business started, and giving them some wise counsel.
Right.
And I think for the most part, it's giving them the wise counsel and the tools that they need, the information that they're going to need in order to really, start a business correctly.
So when you started doing the business,
Because we believe in building entrepreneurs.
well, absolutely,
Yeah.
right. So you started with the business coaching. Like going a step back a little bit, what was that program like?
Business plan. Again, back to the basics. There's nothing real super, woo, oh wow, you did. No, business plan. Most people don't have a business plan. They don't know how to put together a business plan. So, I would just take people back to the basics. That is, starting with vision, your purpose. Is this your passion? Let's get that clear first.
Right.
And then let's work on a business plan. So I take people through the steps of the content of what that business plan.
So
consists of.
you have children.
Yes, I have two wonderful, bright, intelligent, successful daughters. One works actually both of them work indirectly in the entertainment industry. One of them's in the gaming industry as an accountant, finance person, and the other is a communication specialist for Warner Bros.
So you have a family, then you have a grandchild.
We have both of our daughters,
Right.
and their husbands have three kids each. Yes.
Okay. So do you you like with this family that you have?
Yes.
Right. And you're going through the ups and downs. How are you keeping the balance of growing these two daughters, right? And trying to keep your life going as well as you've been you've now been called and
It's more than a notion. It's more than a notion. It was not easy at first. It was not easy at all, because when my wife and I had this encounter with God, they didn't quite have the same encounter. There wasn't a transfer of the encounter on there.
Would have been nice.
Would have been nice.
Yeah,
it would have been very easy. Made things a lot easier. And so it just took time. And I think one of the things that I got the revelation first. My wife probably almost has it today, but not to enforce or push God, so to speak, on them, but to impart wisdom. You follow what I'm saying? Of God, of life, into them in such a way that they embrace it. And so I think our greatest accomplishment together is saying, okay, I have vision for your future, for both of them. And so I challenged both of my daughters, because I didn't want them to take the journey that I took, which was the long route to getting a degree.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know if you know anything about starting and stopping.
Oh, yeah.
Starting and stopping. You go from one school to another school, and you got to go, oh, well, how many credits do I have here?
And then some great job comes up.
Yeah,
and then
some great, and you take that and you go, okay, I'll put school on the back burner, and then you get the right job. For me, for example, I got the right job, and I was excited about the job, and then I had to prove myself more, so that's what forced me to go back to school. Took I did a business program at USC to get a certificate. So again, to just keep sharpening my skill set. But I challenged them to, hey, take care of your business, handle your business. And they didn't do it like in 4 or 6 years flat, but they did it in such a time that when they were in their early 30s, they were able to go into the corporate arena.
Right.
Because we pushed them to get their degrees, and to identify their purpose and passion. And so they're both very good at what they do. Matter of fact, they're both smarter than us. I think we can say they're both smarter than us. And both of my daughters are smarter than me.
And you admit that out loud.
And I admit that out loud. And they make a whole lot more money than me. So I'm very proud of them. Yeah, I'm very proud of them. We still have vision for them in some other aspects of their life and growth, but we're very proud of them.
So we have this whole batch of what we call millennials.
Yes.
Right? And so this is an opportunity to get a chance to say, what imparted wisdom would you like to give to this batch of millennials?
Oh, my millennials. Oh, how you desire to just want to be free and do things the way that you feel you should do it. Let me share something with you, my friend. Time is a commodity. And if not careful, you'll find yourself in a space and in a time and in a season where you've lost a lot of time that you can't regain. And so I would encourage every millennial to be who you are. I think that's the one thing about this. Now, that's the one thing that I'll actually give the millennial generation is that you guys are very passionate. Right. You guys are very passionate, but you negate wisdom. You're very passionate, but you negate principles. There are some base business principles, vision principles that every man, woman, child, boy, and girl must abide by. Principles are considered to be a law, something that guides you, in which you allow to lead you through life. And so I want to encourage every millennial, be passionate, but make sure you identify your purpose so that you don't waste time and waste away and look up and find yourself older than you want to be, and being lackadaisical, not wanting nobody to tell you what to do and how to do it. You find that you've just kind of wasted a lot of time, and then you look up because we're no longer living in a world. I think one of the dangers for the millennials is that when I came up, blue collar workers could retire. There's none of that now. So if you don't go to school and finish getting your degree and doing some basic things, following some basic principles for life, then I think you're going to experience a lot of heartache, and I don't think your parents will be around to save you when you get 40 years old and can't sustain yourself because you never adhered to wise counsel in your formative years. So find a coach, find someone who can relate to your passion, be excited about you, but you're open to listen to the wisdom that they have for you where you are right now so that you can plan your future. Any man who does not plan his future plans to fail.
So what would be that one core, other than the four you sort of mentioned, vision, passion, other than purpose, those are the three. Right? What would be you can give them something solid that you can say, this is an imparted wisdom right here. That you can this is a brick of wisdom, take it with you.
Brick wisdom.
Like that one principle, one core
with
principle.
Vision, with passion, with purpose comes a plan. Any man who does, when purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. When a plan is not written out, and many people have plans in their heads, but it's not written out. When you don't have a plan for life, when you don't have a plan for business, you set yourself up to fail. So, get your plan. Get your plan, get your life. Get your life, have a plan.
Right. So you can be in control of your life. As best as possible.
Exactly.
As controllable
Yes,
as you can be.
most definitely.
Excuse me. So, and going back as growing up, were you growing up as a kid? Were you a single parent home? Were you in a huge family?
Wow, no huge family, single parent home. 6 years old, 7 years old, my parents divorced. 4 years later, 5 years later, my mom would marry. That's what got us to Mississippi. And probably within 3 of those years, she would divorce, and I would be a high school student working 2 jobs to help my mother sustain the household. Yeah.
So where did that take you to? It was like, then all of a sudden, okay, I'm working 2 jobs, and it took you to the level, I'm an adult? To
yes.
that point?
It pushed me into adulthood. And it also had some, it was great on one hand, but it had some, it had some negatives to it. Yeah.
So what was the greatest wisdom that your mom imparted to you at that point?
That I could be whatever I wanted to be in life. That's the one thing that she told my brother and I. You can be whatever you want to be in life. And she always believed that. She always spoke it. And she always rallied behind both my brother and I to do whatever we believed we could do. Yeah.
And that's it. And so from that point there, it's just like, it was just flying. You always knew you had a support group.
Yes.
Support group.
Yes. And I would be blessed at 26 years old, coming back to California to, ultimately meet my wife, and my wife be a cheerleader and someone who believed in me as well, saw my potential. Matter of fact, I'll never forget when I started consulting. When the door of opportunity came and opened for me to consult other corporations, I'll never forget the president of this company asked me after he kind of had this phone interview with me, because he had heard about me, but he wanted to talk to me.
Right.
And so he said, well, I just need to, if you can just email me, let me know what your rate is going to be, for the time that you spend with him. I was just going to do like a 2-hour training with him, right? So I said, okay, sure. So I went back home and I told my wife, I said, you told me to tell him whatever my rate is, what my fee is going to be.
Right.
And no, he actually didn't tell me to email him. He told me to give him a call the next day and just let him know. Right. Based on his needs, because I was also able to assess his needs. So he asked me if I could that following day or that week to call him back. So I told my wife, he said, for me to let him know what my rate is going to be, how much I'm going to charge him, right? And so that's the first time I had somebody tell me, well, what do you feel you're worth?
Right. What's your value?
What's your value? Right. And I would hear, that was the first time I heard it, but then I would hear it from Anthony Robinson later on, because I started to really, have a passion for coaching and training. And it just provoked a great thought. So I said, well, it'd be nice. I mean, based on what I'm getting paid by this corporation an hour, I can't go charge them what I'm charging. I'm being paid an hour here. Right. I'm big guy. I'm big guy now, And so I'll never forget. I tell the guy, I said, $500, right? And so he says to me, oh, $500 an hour? And I said, yes, $500 an hour. He said, no problem. And that day, my eyes opened up, my world opened up, and I actually saw my value. And that was a game changer for me. That my vision, first my love to teach people, train people, encourage people, which was my purpose and my passion, would cause that kind of prosperity. So that became my consultant hourly fee. If you want Anthony McFarland, he's worth $500 now. That's what his charge is. And then I would get around another group of guys who caused my vision and value to arise to another level. And I've heard guys getting for 1 hour, $5,000. Well, $5,000 to speak for 1 hour? Good googly woogly. And then I hear of Les Brown getting $60,000, Tony Robinson getting $100,000, and then they grew and they were getting $250,000, $500,000. Tony Robinson $1 million to do a one-day training session with corporations. So my vision and my value grew as a result of my purpose and my passion. And interesting enough, in some ways, I lost that coming into the church. And it's interesting how it's two different. The principles are the same, but the worlds are far apart.
Right.
Yeah, people in the world see your value and want to pay you what you're worth. Mm-hmm. People that see preachers, they go, "You shouldn't be making that kind of money." Different mindsets.
Right.
Different mindsets.
Well, I think you bring more to the table as a pastor.
Oh, most definitely.
That's at the end of the day.
I like to think I bring more to the table.
I know why you're forgetting now.
Yeah, I managed $1.5 million budgets before pastoring.
Right.
That should bring some kind of value.
Right. Well, as in the internal value. The internal value, the character.
Okay.
The things that you can't get. The things that are priceless.
Yes.
And I think that's the most part of why I'm having you sit here now is because you are priceless, and I mean that from as long as we've known one another, and I appreciate you, and this is your story is what, because we in Startup Grind, they get Airbnb and CEOs of Google and this from literally some Silicon Valley. These guys are getting all the time, right? But there's this other aspect of being an entrepreneur, being an entrepreneur where you are not only accountable to your user base or your clients and that, but you're accountable to a higher calling.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And understanding that there's that balance of not wanting to, our natural, because the natural talents want to say we should go out there and run every race and win every gold medal, right? Mm-hmm. But then this other side saying, those talents were given to me for that higher priceless calling.
Yes.
And where people have lost that understanding is because they see the value of a product or a service, and understanding that every value that comes out of your mouth is the principles that create the opportunity for those people to use their gifts to make that product and service.
Yes.
And so this is why you're here today. You're on the hot seat. And so I want to say thank you, because at the end of the day, this is the most valuable video that anybody's ever seen.
Wow, it's awesome.
You know what I mean? And so I want to ask you, if you could put everything you've in your life, that core, right? That one in one word, what would be that core that makes you Anthony McFarland? Doctor, pastor, father, grandfather, friend.
Love. My love for God, my love for family, my love for people, both in the body of Christ and in the world, and what it is that I do. Love.
And we appreciate that. Thank you so much for being here for Startup Grind Pasadena. and that
Thank you for having me.
this is this wonderful opportunity to impart wisdom. Amen.